I'm saying? Yeah. The fanatic. Where we keep it 100, keep it real. That's the only way we know how to be. Talking that sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of South Carolina. Upstate, 864. Yeah. The FANATTIC. The fanatic where we keep it OG. We talking sports, so I call what.
Welcome into the Fanatic Sports Channel for sports fans by a sports fan. It's your boy, Coach I. All right, man, we are here for our first game preview, man. Today is August the 15th, so when this gets released, just in case any injuries or transfers or anything like that happens, we're covered, man. I got a special guest in here today, man. My guy Tim Burrell from Talking Sauce on YouTube. Tim, what's going on, man?
Man, I can't call it. I'm excited to be here today, and I can sniff the air and I can smell some college football. It's right around the corner, so I'm super excited.
Listen, talking season is almost over, and I can't wait, bro. I'm gonna be tuned in week 0 for all the little smaller games too.
That's one of my favorite weeks to watch college football because it's like you've been waiting, and then you get to see all these teams, and there's some teams they kind of did some sneaky stuff, and Florida State they snuck a game in week 0 before they go play LSU.
Yeah.
So
hey, trying to get that extra scrimmage in there.
Yeah, like, that's sneaky right there. That's sneaky.
Yeah, and then get 2 bye weeks during the season. How about that?
Oh my goodness.
So Tim, tell the people, man, where they can find you at, man.
Yeah, so we have a YouTube channel. You can find us at Talking Sauce. So we typically do a live recording every week, me and my co-host Juice. And we talk about Florida Gators mainly, but we talk about college football. We have a live call-in show. So you need college football fans, we challenge you guys to call in. And you can find us over on Twitter at Talking Sauce. We're now posting edits for commits for the University of Florida.
Oh, okay.
So I just got into the edit game and trying my luck there. And then also we actually just did an episode last night. We actually are taking a shot for every recruit that the Florida Gators land. So
well, y'all was getting real sauced in, in July.
If you haven't watched last night's episode, I would challenge you to go do so. Towards the end, I kind of was, getting big sauced over there.
Yeah. I was about to say, because y'all got something like 11 commits or something like that in the last 4 weeks or so.
Yeah, and so just this week, the beginning of August, we've got 5. So we did 5 shots last night, and it's kind of rough.
Okay. Well, Billy Napier had a little slow start, but I think I think all signs point to everybody is in the Florida Nation, coming around. I know some people was kind of hard on them early, man. It's like, bro, you can't come in first year and be taking big recruits. Like, you're gonna take some hits here and there, man. But Florida Twitter was giving Napier hell, boy.
Yeah, I mean, Florida Twitter, it's kind of like the acceleration of everything wrong with Florida, like the problems that it's Florida. We all know what the problems have been. Florida hasn't been Florida since really Urban Meyer left, right? So It's like all those feelings, but it's just accelerated, like it's right in your face. So that's what Florida Twitter is. They don't care who you are, what you are, where you from. They will jump on you if they all find something. It's a dangerous world over there, man.
It is. I've been watching from afar. It's very entertaining when I'm not recording, I'm telling you. So, with that, man, because of the pressure that, I know because I'm a Georgia fan, but I know how Florida fans, and the nation is about winning, what I'm saying, even though it hadn't happened a lot, but that's kind of why Dan Mullen isn't there. It's a lot of pressure, but who you think going into this first game, man, has more to lose, Florida or Utah?
Yeah, man. So I really think it is 2 sides to this question, but I'm gonna tell you, from my opinion, it's definitely Florida. And I'm about to and I'm gonna give you the reasons why. I know that Utah, the preseason range just came out, they're listed at number 7. So that is my only more to lose than for Utah, because you're ranked number 7. You're probably not going to play any other team that's going to be ranked higher than you this year on your schedule. So this game, you can't really lose any games, or they're going to hit you pretty hard, right?
Facts.
So for Florida, I think they have more to lose because the last time Florida lost a home opener was actually to Ole Miss. and it was 19-24. It was 9-9-1989. So that's the last time that Florida has lost a home opener in Gainesville. So
that's
I'm gonna tell you,
huge.
yes, that's very big. And then also, Florida if they lose this game, guess what? They still have right now. If we're looking at the preseason rankings, they do have two other teams that's ranked higher than Utah that they have to play, and that's Texas A&M and Georgia. So you do not want to lose this game because that will just kind of set you up for you're probably not going to be picked or even have a chance against in those two games. So, and then they also do have Kentucky, who's ranked number 20 on the schedule too.
That's right.
I think Florida, it's this is for me. It is a must-win game. I'm not saying that it's going to end all be all, but it is a must-win game because of what you have on the schedule. You also have, you have a long streak right now, and then it's going to be the primetime game. What we already talked about is going to be the Notre Dame game, Ohio State game, and the Florida Utah game. Those are going to be both games. Everybody's going to be switching back and forth watching at that time. So
yeah, I think you're right, man. I think you hit on the head at the beginning, man. It definitely is two sides to it. When you come to trying to get your program, back on the winning path, I think for Florida, this game means a lot, especially ending the season last season at the bowl loss to UCF. You got Billy Napier, new coach, he's trying to get in there, establish his culture. So I think from like that perspective, I think it is like bigger for Florida. Plus, the SEC has a perception, what I'm saying? We all know the SEC overall is the best conference. Most times, it could be argued Big Ten here and there. But for the most part, I think nationwide people look at it like, okay, y'all the big bad SEC. Y'all shouldn't let no Pac-12 team come into your house and win. Now, from the Utah perspective, you hit it. Like, if they lose this, all playoff hopes are gone. It's like, because it's the Pac-12, and we all know how the College Football Playoff Committee views the Pac-12. So trying to be a one-loss Pac-12 winner, get into the playoffs, man, it's like y'all ain't got no credit in the bank.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't Oregon the only other team that's ranked?
Oregon is ranked. Because I don't think the USC, the Trojans, I don't think they're ranked.
Not.
So that's what I'm saying. You hit it. So it's like now I think USC could possibly work their way into the rankings, so that they have a ranked win. I think they want USC to be back. So if they win a couple of games by a couple of touchdowns, I think they'll get that right there. But trying to beat USC and Oregon is going to be a task in itself. Now, we on to the to how we compare these games. Utah is bringing back a lot. They bring back a lot especially on offense against the Florida defense. So Utah's offense brings back 8 of their 11 starters. They're missing one of their top 6 pass catchers. They lost 2 offensive linemen, but everybody else, Cam Rising, their running back, Travis, what is his name?
Tavion Thomas. Yeah.
He's a 1,000-yard back coming back. That dude's huge too, bro. That's a load. And on defense, you guys got Gervon Dexter, who should be ready for a breakout season. I know, as a Florida fan, man, what's your feeling on Brenton Cox? Now, let me tell you, before you answer, when he was at Georgia and he came in 5-star, I thought the dude was, he was raw, but he had supreme talent. You know what I'm saying? And he kind of flashed that his first year at Georgia, then he transferred. I feel like he had a better year last year, but he's gotten kind of lost in the shuffle almost. You know what I'm saying? So what's the feeling around the Florida Nation about Brenton Cox?
So, yeah, man, Brenton Cox, like you said, his name, the pedigree, even when you watch his athletic ability, his speed, how he is a great player. There are little small things that he needs to fix to make him that elite player, because he did lead Florida in sacks last year. So he's doing what he needs to do. It's just those little small things like setting the edge, not driving the guy up the field too far. I think that's really the main thing that I saw out of him at the University of Florida last year, is just sometimes he would just, not set the edge correctly. So I think it's the little things that he needs to worry about. I do think that this year, getting a new defensive coordinator is probably going to do him wonders, because he was playing for Todd Grantham. So we all know Florida wasn't the most disciplined defense, and that just kind of added into everything else. They couldn't get lined up right, offsides, getting penalties, and then you got guys not setting the edge. Guys don't know where they're supposed to be. To Brendan's credit, I think that it might be more of the scheme than his ability. But this is the year that it's going to show us. I think this is his time to shine. We lost Zachary Carter. Like you said, Gervon Dexter actually will be playing defensive end this year. So he's going to move from the interior to the outside. So I think those two guys on those edges with Brendan Cox, Gervon Dexter, I think he's set up for another poise year to lead Florida in sacks. So,
well, that'll be good, man, to help out that secondary. Like you, Bray Bright, Trey Dean. I don't know what the status, and you could be more knowledgeable on Jalen Kimber that transferred from Georgia last year. I'm gonna tell you what, like just watching his spring game when he was at Georgia and in high school, dude can cover. He's a technical corner. He's not the biggest guy, but he's a very technical corner. So are you hearing anything about him in the off season and fall camp?
Yeah, haven't really heard about him in fall camp, but I will tell you in the spring game, you could see like what you just said about him. You could see it. He was in the game. He's pass breakups. You can see he's in the hip pocket of the receiver. So yeah, he has some abilities. And with Jadon Hill coming back off an injury, also Kyrie Elam left last year. So we're looking for two, cornerbacks to. It's kind of up in the air other than Jason Marshall. Jason Marshall is definitely going to be on one side, and then we're going to be looking to fill that other side. So, bringing in Jalen Kimber, you got Avery Helm still there. And then Jadon Hill, like I said, he had a pretty big injury, and he's coming off that. So it'll be very interesting, that cornerback room. And then we also had a few transfers, with the firing of Dan Mullen. So what's interesting, too, is Mahmoud Diabate is actually on Utah's team now as a linebacker. He actually led Florida in sacks in 2020, I believe. So, sorry, not sacks, but tackles. And so it'll be interesting to see him over there. He's a really good player. He's kind of on the smaller side for a linebacker. So I know at times at Florida, he showed really good flashes his freshman year. And at Florida, it was at times he couldn't really get off the blocks at the second level when the offensive lineman would get to the second level. He kind of struggled there, but he played really well for Florida. And like I said, for me, it was times the scheme wasn't right, how they were trying to use him. So yeah.
Okay. But you guys got Ventrell Miller back, right?
Yes, sir.
So linebacker.
Yeah, dude, Ventrell Miller, that was exactly what I was about to say, too. So he was another player that was injured. He led Florida in tackles in 2020. So he's back. He's also listed. I think they got him listed as third team preseason for All SEC preseason. Third team. So Ventrell Miller, you saw last year, University of Florida needed a linebacker to tackle in the box. There was times teams just ran all over us. Looked like we couldn't stop anything. And so you could tell they were missing Ventrell Miller.
So how are you feeling going against this Utah offense? Like I said, bringing back those 8 starters, man. Cam Rising probably will get some outside. I don't think he'll be invited to New York, but he'll, if he have a good game against Florida, win or lose, and then like run the table, he'll get some outside, love for some Heisman hype type deal, 5th-year senior.
Yeah. So Cam, man, what I like about him, he plays within that system, right? Yep. And like you said, they have Tavion Thomas, 1,000-yard back. They did lose a really good wide receiver, but they really are a tight end heavy team. So they actually have 2 really good returning tight ends. And then when you watch Cam, there's times when, man, he didn't have a lot of he averaged about 6.5 yards per carry rushing the ball. So he's not going to gash you or kill you, but what he is, he kind of reminds me, and I'm not comparing him to this guy. I'm just saying he kind of has these runs like a Joe Burrow, where Joe Burrow would he would just get these runs where it was very at important times of the game. And it would just kill you. It would just
kill that
devastate you.
momentum.
Like
Yep.
you would have them 3rd and 8, and it's nobody open, and he just uses his legs, get that first down quick. Now Cam, though, he's a little bit more wiggly than Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember in that Ohio State game in the Rose Bowl.
He played,
there was
man.
one play, dude. He literally, I don't know how he got out of it. He hit the pocket. It looked like he was about to be tackled. He does a spin move, and I think that was his longest run of the year. I think I went about 65 yards, something like that. So Cam is pretty interesting. They don't throw down the field a lot.
No,
So I
they
think
don't
there's
take a lot of
some
deep
areas
shots.
where they would possibly need to make some improvements. I do like Micah Bernard. That dude, he's a running back that they use. They use him all over the field. He's going to play
Yeah.
running back, but he also they're going to move him out. He can catch out of the backfield. They'll have him end arounds. They'll use him a little bit of everywhere. So this
The
kid,
speed
they had that.
sweeps.
There you go. 1-2 punch with him and Tavion Thomas. And then you throw in, like I said, the 2 tight ends. Jesus, man. Kaluth, that dude's awesome. Both their tight ends led them in touchdowns last year. So you have to be careful. Florida, that's an area where Florida has struggled, is covering tight ends and coverage. Linebackers being put on tight ends. They've struggled with that for the last 3 to 4 years. And so this game will be interesting.
Well, I'm interested to see how they do in the swamp, because I personally haven't been there. But no matter what list you look at or what people you talk to, Florida is always in the kind of like the top 10 for loudest stadiums. So, and I know like some fans be like, whatever. It's like, bro, that matters. Like, I mean, if you watched the UGA Arkansas game last year, like the first 3 plays of the game, they false started because they was down near the student section. It's like. So I'm interested to see how Utah handles that environment. That's a long travel too, dog. That's a long travel. Now, granted, it's the first game of the season, so they probably come down like Wednesday or something. Who knows, or Thursday, early Thursday. But that's a long trip for Utah to come. And that, listen, for nothing, for y'all from Utah, man, here in the South, it is extremely humid and hot.
Oh, man, dude. And that's one of my keys I know we're going to talk about a score later, but one of my keys, that is one of my main keys right there. And that for me alone is why I'm gonna pick who I'm gonna pick. So
man, let's flip the ball, man. Talk about y'all offense, man. You got Anthony Richardson. He dropped the moniker, the AR-15 moniker, because of the gun or whatever. So good for Anthony Richardson. But Emory Jones actually he was like in the portal, out the portal, back in the portal. Now he's gone. And it's like, but you do have Jack Miller that came over from Ohio State going against that Utah defense. We all know how Kyle Whittingham is about his defense. He did lose Butkus Award finalist Lloyd to the NFL, and the Sewell brother. It's like they had like forever brothers all out west playing football, and all are good. But they do bring back that all Pac-12 cornerback dude, Travis Broughton, I think his name is. He was either a redshirt freshman or a true freshman. That dude was pretty good in coverage. So what y'all looking like on that offensive side, man? And tell me when you tell me about the offense, man. Tell me about Lorenzo Lingard, man. Can he?
Yeah.
Is he healthy? Is he going to help? What's going on?
Well, and that's one thing with Florida. So, this game for me, when you go back and look at, Utah last year went 10-4, and they were a young team, so they are bringing back a few people. They did lose a few people to the NFL, but for me, that's where Florida is going to have the most success. When you go, if I'm looking at how can we beat Utah, you go back and look at those 4 games they lost. Every game except for one, if I'm not mistaken, they got outrushed, and it was those running backs that were just gashing them. They could not stop them. I think that's a huge key for Florida. Also, a huge key for the Florida's offense is RPOs. Utah, for some reason, when they play a team that runs RPOs, they struggle.
Ohio State.
There you go, Ohio State. Man, you go back and watch. I know Utah. They led the Pac-12 in sacks, but they were struggling against Ohio State. Man, it's like, man, dude, he's just throwing bomb after bomb. Just
facts. I mean, and Florida, not for nothing, the record don't show it, but you guys got athletes, they might not have all come together for them, but I mean, it's the state of Florida. So, like a 3-star, I try to tell people a 3-star in the state of Florida is kind of like a 4 or maybe even 5-star in some other states.
And that's the thing with Florida is Florida has talent. If you look at on both sides of the ball, it's talent everywhere. The problem is it's depth. So that's where Florida is. It's going to be tricky because knock on wood, please. I hope nobody gets injured, but that's where we're going to find where we might run into some issues is if injury happens to one of our major key positions. It might be a little thin behind that person, and they'll have to figure out, people to play. But you speaking on Lorenzo Lingard, I mean, it's Lorenzo Lingard, Naquan Wright, and then you brought in Montreal from the Raging Cajuns with Billy. Then you also brought in. I'm excited about Osiris Torrance. He's the offensive lineman. Okay. So he's actually all SEC preseason first team. Wow. So, transferred from the Raging Cajuns. He actually held an offer from Georgia as well. So this guy, he started 35 out of 36 of his games. So I'm excited for him.
A lot of experience.
A lot of experience. Florida has struggled on the offensive line for the last few years as well.
Facts.
So they're bringing back Richard Garage and then Osiris. So it should be interesting. You have Anthony Richardson. You have a plethora of running backs, and then wide receivers. Shorter. Mm-hmm. Yeah, wide receivers with Justin Shorter. He's another guy. He actually kind of reminds me. Him and Brenton Cox kind of have that same thing where they have that name. They're 5-star guys. When you watch them, both of them. I mean, you're blown away when you watch them in practice or watch them on tape. You're like, holy smokes! These guys. It's just the little things that. Both of them with Justin Shorter, I think he has to play his size. He's a huge kid.
He is. Mm-hmm. He should be playing like a dead, like a Terrell Owens or something. Like you got to play big, dog.
Yeah, he almost looks like a tight end when you watch him. Like you're like, who? Jesus, who is this?
It's gonna be interesting to see how Kyle Whittingham schemes for Florida and Anthony Richardson's athletic ability. We do know Anthony Richardson can throw it. He's got a cannon for an arm. He's a huge guy. He's very athletic. How you feel about his accuracy, like 15 yards and in?
Yeah, so if you go back and watch the spring game, they kind of focused on a lot of those intermediate throws. So the thing for me, what I have seen from his previous to this year, it looks like there's a lot more snap on the ball from Anthony. Okay. He already had a strong arm, but it looks like those shorter throws, he's zipping it in there. He's getting it to the receiver, and he's throwing it on time. So if he can continue to work on that and accuracy, I'm gonna tell you this, man. Anthony Richardson, he should probably scare most teams. If Florida,
great athlete, man, great athlete.
Yeah, great athlete. If Florida can get that offensive line and protect him and give him time, I think he's going to cause a lot of issues when you pair him with the running backs. And then we do have some big wide receivers. The only place that we need to work on is slot. So we did get transfer Ricky Pearsall from Arizona State. He actually is dealing with some foot issues right now. So fall camp, yep. I think they said that it was negative X-ray, so it's not anything major right now. So I think he is key. This guy, Ricky, man, showing them at fall camp, this guy, his routes are so you see why he led them in receiving at Arizona State. This guy's snappy, he is quick, his routes are on point. So he's going to be big for Florida. And then you throw in Trent Whittemore, you throw in Xavier Henderson. Yep. You got Jamarcus Weston. Florida has talent at the receiver. It's just we need to see a guy step up and take over. And I hope it's Justin Shorter because, he has the ability and key to do that.
That'll be good because he'd be good, especially in the red zone because, like you said, his body type, man, it's like you can't get around it. Dude is huge. So, all right, man. Give me the keys to the game and what your predictions are, man. How you think this is going to play out?
So I'll tell you this. One of my keys to the game, I'm going to use one line from my co-host, Juice. He always says this. Sometimes I'm like, no, it does not. But he is correct in this standpoint. So history repeats itself.
Yeah.
Florida and Utah have played one game in the past. Just one game in the series.
1977.
There you go. 1977 in Gainesville, Florida. The score was 38-29. So
Okay.
you know what? I'm going to say history repeats itself. 38-29, Florida. I do think Florida, and I am probably going to shrink my score maybe as the games get closer,
I
but I
got
do
you.
like this score just because it is in Gainesville, and I
Yeah.
think that is huge for Billy Napier. I think the game's going to be sold out. It's going to be rocking. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. And when you get Anthony Richardson, the first time he gets out of the pocket and takes it for 30, it's going to get psycho. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I can definitely see that, man. If this was on, I'll be honest with you. If it was on a neutral field, I probably would outright take Utah. If it was on
oh,
a neutral
I would
field,
agree with you. I would agree with you. I wouldn't argue with
that
you.
being in the swamp plus Utah, I'm telling you, that travel, man, that's like 2,000 plus 3,000. I don't know how many miles. That's gonna be interesting to see how that first quarter, possibly first half of the second quarter goes. Because if they fall behind, I don't know if they want to do that in the swamp. So I
Yeah.
don't know what the spread is, but this is a hard one, man. It's hard because it's Billy Napier's first year. First year coaches, you don't know how they're going to take to the terminology, if they're going to like the scheme. Everybody wins in the off season. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know. So that's my thing. I don't know where to
Yeah.
go with it.
Yeah, and most first year head coaches, when you especially your first time within the SEC, and even coaches like Nick Saban when he came back to the SEC, and we all know what Alabama was going through, but still he struggled his first year. Remember Kirby Smart when he took over
First
Georgia,
year,
he struggled. He struggled.
lost the tech.
Yeah, you rarely find a head coach who just comes in and takes over and everything's just
Yeah,
rocking and booming. Um, I agree with you with Utah. If it was at a neutral site, I'd probably give them a slight edge. I will tell you, and this is my opinion, and I like Utah. I like what they do on both sides of the ball, but I will tell you this. I do think that they are getting a little bit, not hyped, but a little bit overhyped
okay,
because that
I can
Rose Bowl game from the
facts.
Ohio State game. And the Rose Bowl is like sacred to sports media world. They like love that game and act like it's like the best game ever. So I really do think that them playing Ohio State the way they did, because they did put up a lot of points in that game.
Yeah, they did.
And the game it was a weird game because there was a couple not fluky plays, but just okay, that was kind of interesting. But I think that I'm ready to see Utah to see if they can live up to that number 7 ranking.
Yeah, I want to see Utah against, like you said, the read option, those kind of plays, because like you said, Ohio State did gash them a lot on things like that, and against the running game, I'm interested to see you guys' defense, especially since you told us that Gervon Dexter is moving to the outside, how that goes to stopping Utah's running game, because like we said, their running back's pretty big and very physical. Just to go against the grain, I guess I'm gonna make a pick. I'm gonna go with Utah by 1. Late
Ooh,
field
okay.
goal with like a little time for Florida to try to score, and then time just kind of runs out. But honestly, I think this is maybe gonna be the best game of the day. Like you got Georgia, Oregon, you got Notre Dame, Ohio State. I think this
Yeah.
right here is the best matchup of that Saturday. So I think it's gonna be a good game, and I'm ready for college football to start, so we can get in it, man. Any other thoughts, man? You want to lead the Florida Nation with before we get out of here?
No, I did want to say one thing though. I know I kind of spoke on Jason Marshall, but this was an interesting stat, and it was from Pro Football Focus.
Mm-hmm.
They said only one cornerback has a better completion percentage against him in 2021, and so he was at 36.8%. And that was
Okay.
cornerback freshman Jason Marshall. He played in 12 out of the 14. Or sorry, he played in all 12 games last year, actually. So he is a guy I'm looking for a big year from too as well. And then I think Billy Napier, if he can win this game unranked Florida versus
Mm-hmm.
number 7 Utah, that would be huge momentum for him.
Listen, that'll be huge momentum going into the season, man, and get a lot of the 2021 Dan Mullen and all of that out the mouth. I think it'll be a lot of Florida Twitter fans changing their tunes if Florida comes out with this win, man. But we want to thank you for coming on, man. Y'all don't forget to go out and check out Tim Burrell and his co-host at Talking Sauce on YouTube, man, and Talking Sauce on Twitter. For Florida content and just overall football content, man. Good channel, and especially if you like getting sauce while you talk about football.
Yes, sir. Big sauce.
That's right, man. For Tim Burrell, Talking Sauce's coach out of Fanatic, man. We out of here.
We got it jumping like it's that valley. I call my dogs out the pound, let's go eat. Turn on the Fanatic, let's have a debate. Who really hold down the Southeast from state to state? What team hungry gonna eat everything up off they plate?